So let me start by saying that as I sit here in my Gibson t-shirt with 3 custom shop Gibsons behind me, I am not a Gibson fanboy. Seriously. I've had a lot of Gibson guitars over the years, and if it's not good, I'm happy to say it's not good. I'm not going to make excuses for them. But what I want to talk about in this video is why is it that even though people will complain about quality control issues, people will complain about the price, we still want these guitars. We're still buying them. They're still super popular. And I think there's a couple reasons for that, and I want to get into that in this video. First though, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. A lot of you guys have done that and I really appreciate it. And click the bell icon so you can be notified when I have new videos coming out. So let's get back into this. Gibson guitars, why do we want them so much? So in the intro video, you heard me kind of showcasing my 335, my Les Paul, and my SG. You might have caught that the vibe was a little Allman Brothers bandish, and that was sort of a tip of the hat to the late Dickie Betts, who we recently lost. And that really hit me hard, as it may have some of you. Dickie was in my top 3 favorite players of all time, and huge loss for the guitar community. But, you know, I guess the one good thing we can say is that he left behind so much amazing music for us to enjoy, and a wonderful legacy. So what is it about the Gibson brand and Gibson guitars in general that we're drawn to? I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why I particularly find myself interested in these guitars. And again, I'm not a fanboy. I am a fan, not a fanboy. I understand there are guitars out there that are duds that Gibson makes. The same with Fender and the same with every other guitar manufacturer. They can't all be great. And you know, again, I hear people complain all the time on forums about quality control, price, all kinds of different things about Gibson. They're out of touch. They're making the wrong guitars, whatever it is. Robot tuners. I mean, that was a long time ago, but you get it. There are plenty of things that people have to complain about with Gibson, yet they're still making a ton of guitars, and more importantly, they're still selling a ton of guitars, which leads me to the conclusion that people still love the brand and want to buy these guitars. For me, there's really 2 main reasons. One has got to be the players, right? I'm 52. I came up in an era as a guitar player where we were all looking at these guys that were maybe a decade or 2 behind, the 60s, the 70s, these larger than life guitar heroes that we looked up to. And so many of those guys played Gibson guitars. Yes, there were plenty of famous guitarists who used Fenders, but I would argue the point that there were probably more really like guitar god type players who played Gibsons. I think Gibson was just slightly more popular of a brand amongst more guitar players at the time. So yeah, it's the players. I mean, we could sit here and make an exhaustive list that would take us an hour to write down all the people who made legendary, you know, music that will stand the test of time with Gibson guitars. And the second reason for me is just, it's a Gibson. There's plenty of other manufacturers out there making a 2 humbucker style guitar with 4 knobs. It's not a unique design anymore. It's everywhere. But nothing quite feels like a Gibson, in my opinion. And that's, you know, again, that's just me and how I feel about these guitars. But there's something special about a Gibson. The way it looks, just seeing that Gibson headstock, I don't know what it is. I can't really put my finger on it. There's plenty of other guitars that are similar that sound great, play great, all that, but they're not a Gibson. And maybe you're saying, well, that's a good thing because I don't like Gibson. But if you're a fan of Gibsons, I think you know what I'm saying. It's just the way it makes you feel when you grab one. I don't know. My Gibsons, when I grab my Les Paul, it makes me play a certain way. Same with my Les Paul or my SG. There's something that it inspires in me that I can't quite put my finger on, but I know it's there. So let me know what it is about your Gibson guitars or Gibson in general that you're drawn to or that inspires or speaks to you. I'm really curious to hear why they mean something to you, if they do. And if they don't, if you just want to debate why Gibson's out of touch and they're no good and there's way too many other great choices, we can talk about that too, but let's keep it respectful. But I'd really love to hear your thoughts on all of this. Um, I don't think Gibson's going anywhere. So many times people have said, oh, it's the end of Gibson. Oh, they're going out, whatever the case might be. I think Gibson, as long as there's guitars and guitar players, I think Gibson's going to be around forever because there are too many enduring bands and guitar players that will stand the test of time, that will never go away, that will always be a reference point for so many new players, that I think Gibson guitars will always be in the guitar spotlight as long as there's guitar players. Let me know what you think. I'm curious.